Ghoti finally making a splash in the distant sea of the meta. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Oh my meta. What in the world is this regional breakdown? So I have been on record saying that a lot of these regionals are going to start to skew very, very badly. But there are going to be a lot of regions where you're going to see not this story being told out here. Now, the abnormality for this regional was very, very interesting because not only was Tenpai the most represented deck in this top cut, you'll have regionals out here. Well, Tenpai will maybe net 1 to 2 slots, but the Tenpai domination in this top cut is actually so crazy to see. But not only did Tenpai win this regional, they managed to lock down first, second, third, and fourth place, which means while you do have 3 Snake Eyes in the top cut of this event, all 3 of those Snake Eyes decks didn't even manage to make it into first through fourth, which is actually incredibly amazing. So let's clap for the Tenpai overlords out here doing their job and crashing into the meta. I find that to be hilarious. Now, the abnormality for this event, besides Tenpai Dragons just checkmating the crap out of Snake Eyes, we have this Ghoti Runic pile actually returning back into the meta. Now, you remember some of the early concepts proved that, Ghoti Runic might be something that it had a chance to do well. And that was quite some time ago. The deck has long since, in my personal opinion, gone dormant. But waking back up for this event and actually making it into the top cut, which I think is actually kind of cool. It's not exactly something that you thought you would have on your bingo sheet, but you know what? I like to see it. Some of the new Lightsworn stuff might be making a case here too. Let's pass on over to decklist. All right, so winning our event here was actually Tenpai Dragons. That's surprising, right? Sporting off some of the very big control options, actually side decking the Feather Dust. That's kind of interesting. The Quacky Draco has been making some major lapses as well, because, being able to spheres on into it during your opponent's turn. Kind of, free real estate for this deck. You gotta love to see that. We are also playing Rivalry of Ye Olde Warlords in here as a one-of. I've heard some major conflict between this card. A lot of people like, it's good when it does come up. And yeah, 100% it's good when it comes up. You're just going to be rolling out the Dragon Wars anyway. Build actually did opt for the Samurai Destroyer for the U-Bell matchup. It's actually kind of good to see. There's the $1 million power card. Still seeing play. They actually opted to push the crossouts down to the side. We're actually playing a Snatch Steal. It's actually kind of hilarious. Didn't expect to see that. And of course, there's the dimensional barriers to help you out. Outside of that, I don't have anything else to say about this. Pretty standard stuff. Speaking of standard, we have Space Rocks in our pile. Space Rocks, I understand that there's different opinions on this build also. Where's my... We're not playing no droplets in the main deck here? None of the negation stuff. Alright, we just opted for Cosmic Cyclones for the control aspect of things. Okay, didn't suspect that. We also have the Triple Ghost Mortar in here, and you do have the Fenrirs. I like Fenrir a lot. I do want to test it on the deck. I just haven't had the time to, make a change to the list. We're also playing Phantasmes down here. This actually is a good idea, being able to sculpt your hand, put a free little monster on the field so you can get some burst damage down. You do see the Black-Winged Assault Dragon, your extra deck customization options. You also have the Koi Belt as well, so these are your more major changes that you might want. You just see the Ruddy Rose seeing some play. I also love this package so much. It's so good. All right. Hey, now here we go. There's your double Moonlit Chill. You have, of course, the triple Ogre. You have the triple Fenrir. Best control card, by the way. I love this. We are citing the Magna Hut. I mean, that's fine. The Magna Hut's purpose is to ensure that, can actually get something up and running. And then, of course, we have triple Heatwave in here. Well. While a lot of people are kind of starting to decide if they want to cut this, I think in the next rounds of this deck's evolution, it'll be a little bit more hit or miss, but we'll have to wait and see. We chose to play the Samurai Destroyer instead of the Koi Belt. And then, of course, you have the Ruddy Rose Machine in here as well. And we have the Moonlight Dragon as well. This deck did choose to actually play the Ambler Whale, though, instead of the Pyro Phoenix, which is kind of interesting. But, I mean, you're just going to convert this off into a Xalantis anyway, so you can kind of keep up with the OTK line. Pretty straightforward stuff. Nothing really too major to talk about here. Now, what in the world have we adapted into the meta today? I actually thought there were new Lightsworn cards in here. Sorry about that. We're playing Triple Charge of the Light Brigade in this pile, which means your access point is to get to the Raiden and go. Now, for most of, your life, Raiden, I think, still is the best Lightsworn in the current era. Your entire purpose is to, get the Mill 2, and he acts as a tuner monster. That is the biggest, well, actually, the Mill 2 and the tuner monster is very, very important here. The biggest things also, keep in mind that you get access to these fat utility options down here. Our dear friend Shenying is going to be an absolute master of things. We're also playing the Ruddy Rose. I actually kind of like the idea of having this card in a deck like this. A free little banish everything from the graveyard. You're probably, let's be honest, you might look at that card and you might be a little bit intimidated. You might be like, why would I want to do that? I'm playing runic cards. Well, most of the time, you're probably going to have your runic cards back in the deck anyway at the point that you would be making this. So kind of think about that for a second. We also get access to Cupid Pitch. And if you haven't really learned anything about the stupid things that Cupid Pitch is able to do, holy crap. Now, the biggest things about this deck, you still want to make the Ghoti of the Deep Beyond during the opponent's turn, and you still want to use this as a form of interruption against your opponent to make sure you can get the board wipe. It's kind of like, I think the biggest reason why a deck like this is able to do anything is because you have such good control options available to you. Ghoti of the Deep Beyond is a fantastic card. Of course, doing 2 of each of the mini synchros, which is fine. And of course, having the White Aura Whale in here as well. You're also doing the 2 copies of Gary and the 2 copies of Hugin. Nothing really too much I would change on this side. I think that's all fine. Your runic spells, I also think everything that you would want to see is good here. We're also side decking the Evenly in case we need to have an equalizer. We've all kind of learned our lesson out here about how stupid this game can be. And, being able to sack an Evenly while playing Runic going second, I definitely know that people don't have immediate outs for this. So, seems pretty good to me. I'll take that. But outside of that, your Runic innovations here, they're definitely interesting. They leave a little bit to be desired, though. I do want to test this out, though. All right, what else we got? Ooh, we have the big ol' Angry Snake Eyes deck. Still sporting off your triple copies of Crossout Designator. I'm not all that surprised to still see that this deck is relying on Crossout, because this card will just ruin your day. The giant Space Rock coming down is just kind of a game ender for this deck. Also, this duel has had some very interesting takes for hand trap ratios. The 2 Drolls and the 2 Ogres. Okay, we're not making any hard commitments. We're just trying out the 2 Ubs. That's fine. And then the 1 Space Rock. Still playing the triple Imperm. Be able to control things. Nothing too crazy in the Snake Eyes department. I think everything is completely standard here. The 1 Subversion, also looking pretty good. I also see that we have the triple Black Goat Laughs as well. This card is actually kind of insane against Tenpai. I don't think a lot of people are too ready for this, honestly. But outside of that, Snake Eyes, I still say that this is an incredibly straightforward deck. You have pretty much all of your ratios figured out, and that's not much of a problem. Ooh, this is the optimized pile that I would expect to see. You have your triple Veiler in here. There's your 2 Mourners. You have the triple Ogre in here. This build did opt for 2 Nibiru, which is fine because, you do have the triple cross out here to kind of make do of this. And of course, we have Imperms. Post side decking, we have 2 skill drains down here. This is pretty straightforward. This card should win you games. And of course, people still playing the 1 of anti-spell, even though you would think, it's a 1 of, if you still draw this card in your opening hand, and the chances of you boarding this in are pretty strong. You also have the Bysteel, good stuff for you down here. Build also opted for the double Promethean Princess. That is very interesting to see. I like that. Well, that is your breakdown for this regional. Like I said, Very interesting ratios in terms of what the meta is kind of providing here. I don't think that's much of a problem, but very interesting. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.